All right, cool. So I'll kind of let you lead, man. Anything you could think of, what do you specifically want to go over? What are you struggling with?
Yeah. So the big thing that I'm struggling with, man, is so I'm talking to the listing agent, the majority of the time, it's low equity, and they just can't wrap their head around someone taking payments for their mortgage. And it's like literally like they're like their only option really, for them to, for their client to like walk away with like, some money. And I'm great about, sending offers and underwriting and all that. I just feel like the biggest bottleneck I've been having really is for me to explain to the agent, to the listing agent, be like, this is what my game plan would be. And then like they explain it to the client and then they fuck it up. And then the client says like, no, like that sounds weird. Like, let's just do a normal sale. And that's what I keep on hearing every time. It's just like, no, we just want to do a normal sale. I'm like, if you do a normal sale, like you're fucking a client, like pardon my language, but it's just like, so yeah, I don't know, like, like I'm aware of you. I'm aware that you're at like a high level with this stuff. And I'm all ears for you to help me, like, better communicate with agents. And so yeah.
Dude, I'm with you. So I'll tell you this. When it comes to creative, some agents like band together and see how many creative offers they could deny in a day. Like it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Dude, there was 2 times where I'll never forget this. When I first started, it was sellers were going into bankruptcy if they didn't sell the house.
Yeah.
And the agent wouldn't even let me present my offer. I remember I sent her like a whole essay. I was like, I don't care if I make a penny, like let me help them. Because dude, when you have like the key, and this is no joke, like this is bankruptcy. This is their only asset is their house.
Yeah.
And yeah, they fell into bankruptcy. It was crazy. But I say that to then say there are so many times where it does not matter what you say, they will say no, which sucks. And I'm with you, and it does suck. But one of the things that I learned early on was, and I'm trying to win every battle, every call. But one of my buddies, Gabe, when I first started, he said you have to know when to get off the phone too, and that's true, right? Now I will say this: creative is cool, right? But if the goal is being a wholesaler, creative isn't the only criteria, right? So if you are going about your days putting in your effort and creative is yielding results that you don't think, that aren't working, there's, I would say look for other criteria. The reason I say that is with the assignments that we're doing now, and by the way, I'm doing all cash, right? The assignments that we're doing, we have like our average assignment fee is like $23K, and we're doing a crazy amount. The reason being is obviously yes, I have the experience, but I've created a perfect culmination of buyers, systems with those buyers, and just flip the switch, right? I would say, as for getting agents to kind of accept the creative thing and whatnot, you can do all you want to do about, the seller's situation and whatnot. Like what you just told me, I can tell that you're competent when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can give them $1 million and they say no. Yeah. So what I would do is you can still continue to do creative, but I would also recommend to find your own buyers that do cash deals or some other type of strategy, because not only are you battling against the fact that creative is foreign to them, but you're also battling against the saturation of creative itself, right? Think about like Pace Morby, right?
Yeah, I've been running into that too, where they're like, oh, like, this is, like my 4th call that someone's try to offer creative financing. And I've edited the script per se, where I say like I'm a cash flow buying, buyer. I'm like, when I feel like when people say like, oh, I'm an investor, the agent's just gonna know that they're gonna get lowballed,
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't say I'm an investor either. Me personally, I'm very casual when it comes to it, but I will say this, right? Mm-hmm. Not only are you competing with Pace and all them, you have 10,000 people in Omaha and wholesale.
Yeah.
So my advice would be, obviously there's the 30-day map and whatnot that's on the YouTube, but let's just say we have a week. Continue what you're doing with creative, and take time during the day as well to find new buyers through Facebook, right? You go to Facebook, go and join, I don't care how many fucking groups you got to join. You join a group in every state if you need to. And every single post that's in that Facebook group that is someone trying to wholesale a house, the people that are commenting on those posts that say send me the information, those are buyers, right? Now, granted, vet those buyers, because some of them might try and be wholesalers. So, what I would say is get on the phone with them, because you could tell if someone's bullshit as soon as you get on the phone. And also request a proof of funds, right? Because a real buyer will never not give you and what you'll do slowly is not only will you continue to do creative, but you'll also be passively building a buyer's list with different criteria. Now, let's just say you do that for like a week. You'll take that criteria and take one day to do a bunch of lead generation. And with that criteria, you can tell, oh, okay, I'm finding a bunch of deals with this one. Oh, this one's a waste of my time, whatever. And then you're going to hit that criteria where it's like, dude, extremely easy to find deals for this guy or girl, and they're super easy to work with because rapport is the biggest thing as well, right? And I can just turn this on and no one else knows about this criteria, right? So imagine if you found a criteria, like for example, I do a lot of cash Section 8. My buyer's criteria is phenomenal, and I'm really the only person that knows it, right? Now I have zero competition, buyers are super easy to work with, and I can just source. And then you can essentially just create an entire company around that. Obviously, don't rely on one buyer, but just to get it started, dude, you can have criteria that has zero competition. So that's what I would do. That would be my best advice. Continue to do creative because it's gonna still train up your phone skills.
Yeah.
That would be my advice for that. Now let's dive into. So let's see if you were to call me about a sub 2 property. We don't have to do a full role play, but what would be? Yeah. Let's just say, okay, hello, my name's Trevor. So what is your usual pitch?
Yeah. So I say, hey, how's it going? I was calling about 123 Main Street, and am I catching you at a good time? And they say, yeah. And then I say, great. And then I immediately say, I'm a cash flowing property buyer. This looks like a great rental that I could put in my portfolio. If there's anything specific about the listing, immediately I'll ask about that. But my first objective is just to get an idea of what situation the client is in. Like, have they already moved into another home? Are they waiting to move into another home? Are they, are there tenants in the home? Just trying to get a situation on the home before I start talking anything about numbers. And so, because then I'll tailor my offer as best I can to what kind of situation they're in. Are they, have they already for instance, there's one property that I'm JVing on with one guy, and it's a VA loan, and they've already moved into their new home, so they don't have to worry about their DTI, like their initial home, that DTI at all. So I'm like, great, and so I just really get a better understanding of the situation that they're in, and then I'll ask, do you have any idea of why it's been sitting on market so long, and so then I'll let the listing agent explain we're trying to find the right buyer, or it's a high inventory area, and I'm like, okay, and then I ask, have they received any creative financing offers, and then after that, I just basically go into what's a good email I can send my offer to. And so yeah, and then I text them right after I email it, I text the listing agent and be like, hey, I just sent you an offer, looking forward to a positive response from your client, and then yeah, so
okay, perfect. So I got you right now. Ready?
Yep.
So good. But what I would do just to separate yourself, dude, I'm gonna hook you up right now. All right, ready? So so regardless if you say, oh, I'm an investor or not, if you and I'm with you, I like to any strategy, you're gonna go rapport, info, offer, right?
Yeah.
But you also have to build your credibility, right? So something I'll say, I call it like a caveat strategy, is, dude, I'll get on the phone and mid-conversation, oh yeah, I'm calling 123 Main Street, how's your day, whatever. And then I'll say, quick question, besides 123 Main Street, we have another couple properties down the block. We just lost our property manager. Do you happen to know anyone in the area that could do property management for us? Oh, boom. Now, do I care about their property management? No. But by saying that, they're like, okay, this guy's asking about property management. He has rentals. He knows what he's talking about. He wouldn't just be asking me this for no reason, right?
Yep.
So let's do, caveat strategy. Let's see. Another one I use is, I'll say, well, obviously, the one where it's like, do you have any other ones, right? But, oh, there's a good one too. This isn't as much of the caveat strategy, but it's more of, and you've probably heard me say this, but I'll get on the phone, and if I say, Trevor, how's your day going? The most generic response is going to be, oh, it's good. How was yours?
Yeah.
I go, if they're like, oh, how's your day going? I said, do you want me to give you the honest answer? And that kind of breaks the ice a little bit. And be like, oh yeah, what's going on? Title, we got to get this deal closed. They're giving us bullshit, whatever. Now, when you have a conversation with somebody like that, and there's that portion of informality, as much as you want to be formal and serious, being informal is good as well. Because if you're not, you don't want to be a robot. They're going to have the same conversation with everybody every time. So if you're like, oh, you want the honest answer, you did this and this. It's like, okay, this guy actually has some stuff going on, so we can do honest answer. Cool, right? You'll know what that is. That's good. You can do, oh, there's another one that I like to use. So I'll talk about, so before I built my in-house team, one of the things that I did for acquisitions was I had my entire front-end acquisitions all on buyer's agents, right? So what I would do is I would contact buyer's agents in every market that I was looking in, and I would do a bunch of lead generation the night before and just send them address price at what we want to offer. They would negotiate it, they would lock it up, right? That's something we could talk about right after this. The reason I tell you that is I'll get on the phone and I'll say, let's say I'm working with John Smith, and I get on the phone with, fucking Nancy, right? Nancy, I'm working with John Smith. He's also in the area. I haven't worked with him. Do you by chance know him? Have you worked together? Oh, no, I'm not sure of him. Oh yeah, I just wanted to ask you, we're going to look to do a lot of properties through him. We're looking forward to, doing some deals with him. I want to know if he's a good fit. Just these little add-ons. And the way I want you to visualize it is like this, right? So if you're going to start your conversation here and end your conversation here, straight line, right? But when you throw those caveats, you can go, oh, 1, 2, 3 minutes. Oh, by the way, you want the honest answer? Okay, boom, build plus rapport. Okay, now we come back. Oh yeah, you know any property management in the area? Build some more rapport / credibility. Come back. Okay, more rapport, credibility, and now look how much you've upped your offer. Now a normal person would just be, but now you're credible, you have more rapport, throw jokes in there. You know what I'm saying? You hold yourself well, you talk fine. Throwing jokes in there, breaking the ice. Oh, another thing I like to say is if I'm talking to a guy, I'll say I'll just say, hey, is this John? Yeah, this is John. Hey John, this is Jake with whatever. I'm giving you a call about 1, 2, 3 minutes. How's your day going, man? And I'll throw man at the end, right? Because again, informality. As much as you're being formal, you want to, oh, how's your day going, man? How's your day going, brother? Something like that. And it's like, oh, whatever. And then you pair that with the honest answer and you're fucking best friends, right? Yeah. So, and the cool thing with that is you do that, right? Now you guys have your rapport, and at the end of the conversation, I would also say, listen, I'll say something like this because creative is there's abrasion that can, I would say, listen, we're going to try it out. This is what we want to do. I think you can help your seller a lot, right? Your fiduciary responsibility as an agent is to give them the best offer. Yep. I explained to you kind of how it works. At the end of the day, I enjoyed our conversation. I don't want to, get you any hassle. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I don't want to twist the seller's arm. Yeah. Worst case scenario, we take this one down or we don't. I want to work with you in the future. What else do you have, right? So now what that shows is having that abundance mindset where it's like, listen, dude, we'll try it. We're going to probably close on another 10 properties this month anyway. Let's get whatever. And then that way it shows, okay, I'm not thirsty for this property. That's another thing. And then that furthers your relationship. And what does that also do? It opens you up for a better, more in-depth follow-up, because when he gets that call from you or he gets that text from you, it's like, hey brother, just checking in. How's everything going? He remembers you. He remembers that rapport you built. That's another thing. So I think upping the rapport, adding those caveats is huge. And then also just making it to the point where it's like, I don't really need this, right? Obviously, you want to be interested, but abundance.
Yeah, because they smell that desperate, like, I need a deal, like they're like, it just reeks, like, when like a salesman like approaches you and, so it's like, they're like, they need that deal to like eat tonight, like they're so I definitely get you on like, if you come off as like, have that abundance mindset and be like, hey, like, it doesn't work, there's thousands of other properties, and so it's like, it's not a big deal, and so I think that does definitely separate like a lot of the people, because like, I'm not trying to talk shit about what, is taught in Hold My Sale, but I feel like just like blasting off like a text and then the POF and be like, this is my offer. It's just like, I
don't know, dude, you can't, bro. They get 1,000 cold outreach emails every day. Yeah. Okay, first off, agents, don't get me wrong, I met some good agents, but majority are lazy as shit. So
100%. The amount of people that don't answer phone calls, don't answer texts, like, I'm like, do you want this? Do you want to?
They don't want to make money. They don't want to make money. But yeah, dude, you can't. For you to just send a cold outreach email and spam those, you might as well just not even start. Getting on the phone itself is separating you, which is good, and just building that rapport is huge. So, but I agree with you on that. So I think that because I think your whole pitch is good, but one thing I want you to keep in mind as well is, and Rich teaches this as well, people do business with who they like and trust. That's a fact. And if you don't get this one, you will get the next one. So I think implementing these is going to be huge, and just learning how to flow with them as well. And dude, you're going to create your own caveats. You're going to, this and this, and you're going to go through your phone calls. So there's that. Then also you have that piece of information for creative. Even if creative doesn't work, you could apply this and you have other criteria, you know how to get your own buyers. Yeah. And then, dude,
ask you a quick question?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, yeah.
Do you just go off on like on market properties, or do you go after expired listings?
Yeah, so I'll go after, honestly, the only lead gen we're doing is on market. If we're gonna do an expired listing, that'll usually come up in our off market search anyway, because we're using AI for off market. So expired, I wouldn't say we specifically target expired listings, but they'll come up in the off market regardless because they're off market at that point. But expired listings are good. They are good. You would just have to, skip trace. Just strategy is huge as well. Like, I don't know what your day to day looks like, and I wouldn't do this for creative as much because it really wouldn't work. With these, I don't know if you're gonna do the fix and flip buy boxes. I think they're coming out or whatnot. But with cash deals, dude, you do an hour of lead gen at night. You find 10 properties that you like. The next day, you reach out to your buyer's agent, and the best way to find a buyer's agent is there's another rapport thing that you could use. As soon as you get on the phone is, hey, besides 123 Main Street, we're looking for some buyer's agents in the area to work with. We have a pretty heavy volume during the week, and just something to take the weight off our shoulders would be huge. Would we be able to send, our offers through you on the properties we're working with in Memphis or wherever you're at? Oh yeah, I'd love to. Boom. Now you have a buyer's agent. And now they're in that mindset of where I'm not being defensive. I'm on this guy's team, and now I can represent both sides. So then that opens the door. But that's how I get buyer's agents. And then I would use those buyer's agents, whether it's on the property you called or not, is lead gen, send them address and price. I can show you text, address, price, and then they just, boom, spam them. So now think about if you're in 7-8 different markets. Now you have trained acquisitions going after the properties that you like, and they'll also source properties for you because they know your criteria. They'll negotiate and lock it up, and then this is what you do. Oh, we locked it up. We got it at this price. Okay, boom. Here, Rich and Chris. Here, Buy Box Cartel. You're in the deal 5 minutes, and then you could hire a VA to do your lead gen and just spit it to the buyer's agents. So it's free acquisitions, and their commission's paid by the seller.
Gotcha. So just to reiterate, like you're going after free and clear houses, you're doing cash offers, and then getting another contract, and then basically you're finding those properties that the buyer's list, you're finding properties that fit the buyer's list criteria. Gotcha.
Exactly. Yeah. You're reversing it, right? But yeah, dude, that's huge, because what you can do at that point is once you, like I said before, dude, once you find that criteria that's good, and it won't take long, the buyer that's easy to work with and that criteria that's good, you just then instruct that to your lead generation process, and all you have to do is you lock it up, it sells. That's it. But yeah, like I said, I want you to lead. So what other things you want to go over?
Yeah, you're talking about you use AI. I've never heard of anybody using AI. Yeah, and you said that specifically for expired listings that you do that?
For off market, yeah, in general.
Oh, off market. Gotcha.
So yeah, no, it's crazy, dude. I don't really know a lot about it. I just leave my team to do it. But essentially what it does is it will, let's just say you pull a list from Memphis, right? It'll skip trace that list, and then it'll call each one of those people on that list 3 times a day over the course of 3 days. It'll call like 4,000 people or something like that, or 7,000 people. And then from that, let's just say 4,000 people, you'll get maybe, 10 to 12 hot leads a day, right? And even if you close one of those leads, let's just say 10, 15K, that's one a day. You know what I'm saying? You're getting 10 to 12 leads. You close one of those a day. That's one deal a day. Even if you do 2 deals a week, that's 20, 30K a week. You know what I'm saying? So,
gotcha.
Yeah,
that's crazy, bro.
But no, yeah, dude. When I heard about it, because the way I got introduced, one of my buddies showed it to me. I was like, so they're getting on the phone with the AI and they're talking, and then it prints out like a whole note and everything. I was like, this is next level, bro. But yeah, dude, that's crazy. I know we're throwing a lot of information. I want to make, like I said, I want to make sure you're taken care of. So.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I'm just like digesting, first find a buyer's criteria, lead gen, for that criteria, and then basically make offers, below list price, cash offers. And I'm assuming that these are, the properties are, have been sitting on market for quite a while, and they're free and clear. You're not doing any sub 2.
Me personally, I'm not. I mean, I still can, but like my main strategy right now is just cash Section 8. But also, they don't even have to be free and clear. They could have a mortgage. It's as long as you, let's just say it's listed for like 100 and that's 100, and their mortgage is at 80, and you're giving them 90. That's fine. And even then, what you can do is look what that does. Ready? Oh, dude, I could put you on so much stuff, man. So let's say we're doing off market. They want 100K. Oh shit, they want 100K, and you could sell it for. Let's say you could sell it for. They want 100K. You could sell it for 100K. So you're trying to get it for 90K. You're trying to make 10K. Let's say their mortgage is at 85K. Now you have one option. You can give them 90K and make your 10K. Option 2 is if their mortgage is 85K and they're listed for 100, sub 2, right? Because it's low equity. So how much would they make if they sold for that 100, right? Let's see. 100,000, right? And then if it's off market, and you're not using a realtor, there's no commission. So let's just say it's 2% closing costs, right? So it's 98,000 minus 85,000. So you're making about 13K, right? Now you can give them, let's just say, let's say your buyer is using a DSCR loan, right? On these properties for 100K, meaning they have to put 20% down, meaning that they have to come out of pocket 20K, meaning that they also, and then there are lender costs associated with their down payment. So not only is there closing costs for title, but there's also lending costs, which are usually like let's just say 5 to 6K. So maybe they're all out of pocket. Let's just say 26K, right? Now, this person was going to make 13K from the sale if they sold for 100. Dude, what if you give them 15K, which is more than they would make with what they're asking? So that's check that. And giving them 15K down, buyer, let's just say you assign it for, 10K from there, buyer comes out 25K with no credit checks, no lending costs, right? And by the way, 5 to 6K, that's conservative plus closing costs. Let's go 28, right? Now he has a discount, doesn't have to go through credit checks, doesn't have to get appraisal, nothing like that. And he's making a discount. Cool. You're making an assignment fee. Buyer's getting what they want, or sorry, seller's getting what they want because they were only going to make 13K from the beginning. So you could do sub 2. Now this is another thing, right? Obviously, and then this is low equity sub 2. Let's say that there's no mortgage, you could do seller finance. Third thing is doing a novation. Are you familiar with novations?
A funny story is my first property that I got under contract was a novation my buddy was doing. So I thought I was getting a great deal. But he was actually doing a novation on the property. He's a big player in wholesaling here in Seattle, but yeah, I'm aware of it. You basically get it under contract, and then you renovate it, and then you put it back on the market, and then you basically make the difference of like what you sell it for.
Or you don't even have to renovate it. What you can do is, let's just say that these guys are buying turnkey Section 8, right? And this is a turnkey Section 8 property. Let's say that you can get them down. So their mortgage is at 85K. Let's say you can get it for 90K, right? And let's say in that area, turnkey Section 8 is going for 100 to 110.
Yeah.
Now you can even hire a realtor so that you don't have to take the phone calls. Hire a realtor listed on market for 100 to 110K. Let's say you end up selling it for like 103. Boom, 13K assignment. So you have so many different tools in the tool belt here that you can go around. And this is off market, right? So it's a very large, but dude, this is good stuff here.
Do you recommend, looking at, I know it's biased, because majority of like what you do is Section 8, would it be more worth it to go after Section 8 properties than to like, look at, creative financing and just, for subject to and seller finance?
So my answer to that would be the strength of a wholesaler comes from the strength of their buyer. So for me personally, cash Section 8 is working, right? But I know a ton of people that are doing fucking cash fix and flip for 300K houses and they're making tons of money, right? I know a bunch of people that are I know a buyer buys sub 2, no joke, buys sub 2, cuts the house down the middle, 2 halves, loads them on 2 big ass tractor trailers and takes it across the country. I have no idea how he makes money, but he does. So with that being said, my answer to that would be whatever works for you works for you. I like Section 8 cash because I found good Section 8 cash buyers. You find good fix and flip buyers, you find good whatever buyers.
Yeah.
That's works for you. If you're feeling like creative isn't working, dude, switch it up. Try Section 8 cash. But by you going on Facebook and looking at a bunch of different buyer criteria, now you're exposed to everything. You can try everything.
Yeah.
And you see it works for you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's a rumor going around that Texas is so hot for subject to properties that they're buying them if they're negative cash flow, which is crazy. Like,
well, this is the thing too. They have other exit strategies, right? So one of the biggest exit strategies, especially in Texas, is a wrap, right? Do you know how a wrap works?
I'm familiar with it. It basically, I'll let you explain it.
All right, here, what we'll do, because for some reason it only does the zooms in 30-minute increments, let me end this and restart it, and then that way we have the extra, how much time we have left. So here, let me end it and then just rejoin. So essentially the way a wrap works, this is the best way when I first learned it, is, let me take this out of here. So let's just say you acquire a property. Let's say seller finance. You acquire a property seller finance for $1,000 a month.
Is it cool if I record it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool.
$1,000 a month. Let's say 0% interest with 10K down. Right. That's what you buy the property for. Cool. Then you go ahead and resell it on financing terms. So then you resell it for 20K down, $1,500 a month, 5% interest. Right. And what happens is this loan has to be paid every month. This loan has to be paid every month. And this is you and you're making the difference. So you're making an extra $500 a month interest on your money, and you made 10K just reselling it. Now you resell it on financing terms to a homestead buyer, someone who can't qualify for a mortgage or, whatever it may be. That's a huge exit strategy, especially in Texas. And that's why they're okay with buying maybe, let's just say negatively cash flows maybe $100 if you rent it out regularly. But if you were to resell it on financing terms, you can make, a ton of money, right? Because you're not just renting it out. That's a wrap. But yeah, dude, 100%. Texas and Florida are huge. But yeah, they'll do that. They'll do something huge as pad split. I don't know if you heard of pad split.
I've heard of pad split, where it basically maxes out the amount of rooms in the property. So you can I was watching videos from Pace Morby on how the math works, and that was fucking insane. I'm like cash flowing $4,000 a month. And I'm from a measly 1,000 or something, so
dude, it's insane, dude. I saw another video. It was negatively cash flowing long-term rent. They renovated it to 7-bed 7-bath with 7 pantries and 2 refrigerators, and they did no dishwashers so that people don't fight to do the dishes.
Yeah. And
they're charging $1,000 a room per month. Crazy. But yeah, dude, with the time we have left, like I said, I want to make sure you're good. So is there anything you could think of?
Yeah. So how do you find a good market? How do you find where okay, this is going to be my stomping grounds? Because I'll do market research from this website called Reventure, and it basically looks at the home growth value year over year. And basically you can pick an area that's it's negative 4% home growth year over year. So when you're writing your email, it'd be hey, this is a stable yet declining home value market. No wonder, I don't say that, but it's no wonder your house isn't selling, because your house isn't as much as you think it is actually worth, because it's declining, So how do you go about doing market research for an area you want to buy in, or is it just the entire United States? You're just fuck it, so
yeah. So as for wholesale, obviously you're just gonna go where your buyers are at, right? Buying it, dude, I can't really speak too much because I don't own right now, but honestly, I'm gonna do Section 8. So my market research would be more of where are the most outstanding vouchers for Section 8, where I can get the most guaranteed tenants, which obviously I already kind of know those markets. But dude, as for more, I wouldn't really be able to give you a good answer. But I would say if you have that software that shows you kind of the growth, I would definitely want to be in an appreciating market, which is number one. But also it depends on what your strategy is as well, right? Obviously you want to be in an appreciating market, but if you're looking for if you're holding for 10, 15 years, markets are going to go up and down. If you're looking for quick flips, right, you're going to want to be in appreciating markets, but also then the interest rates are a factor too. So I don't think I'd be able to give you a good answer for that just because I don't own. But as from a wholesaling perspective, you could be in the middle of fucking Nebraska, but if that guy buys 10 properties in Nebraska every month, that's your market.
Gotcha.
But also one thing I wanted to tell you too, because it made me think of something for creative. Another kind of one-liner you could say is, let's say it's on market for a while. You could say, oh, is it, did they not like the walkthrough, or is it just interest rates being the way they are? And you throw that in there, it's like a precursor to going into creative, right? If you say, oh, it's the interest rates being the way they are, oh yeah, it is, okay, well, what if there's a way we can help that? Boom, creative. And then another thing you could say as well is push for three-way calls with the seller every time, because I don't care how good you can sell to the realtor, if they go back to the seller and they're sub 2 offer, yes or no, it's just so that what I'll always say is I'll say, listen, we're doing a ton of 3-way calls with our sellers. We want to explain it to them. I know it's kind of an unorthodox strategy, but we're doing a ton of volume. Let me know what time this week we can set up a meeting with your seller. I'd love to go over the details. And you want to talk about separating yourself. Now you're talking to the source. You're talking to the person that makes that decision. Yeah. I'll never forget, dude. It was one of my first seller calls, first 3-way calls ever. And I was I wasn't nervous, but I was I was making sure I wasn't saying anything wrong. And they're in the car together, and I'm like saying all the facts, da 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 da. They're over here fucking play fighting, and they're hitting each other and shit. And I'm like I'm trying to like be serious, and they're like, oh yeah, no, that sounds good, whatever. And one of the one-liners that I used to use was, as for defaulting, right? You know, like how they have the deed in lieu of foreclosure, where if they default on the payment, they get the house back. If the buyer defaults on the payment, they get the house back.
Yep.
I would say, you know, let's just say you guys wanted to fill the house with cockroaches the day we close, forcing us to have to never do anything with the property, and we deed it back to you. You could keep our down payment, right? And the guy goes to his wife, he goes, oh, you told him about the cockroach idea? And like, we started laughing. So it was cool. But you're always going to have those good interactions. I would definitely push for those, because that's when you get your message across. But that just came up when you said that.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, push for a three-way. Yeah, because that's what we're doing right now with a JV, because they, you know, we're gonna have actually a four-way between the guy that I'm JVing with, the listing agent, and then the homeowner. So, and he's looking over the terms right now. He sent a counter, and then I explained, you know, like, we can't do a 3-day inspection period. We can't do a 2.5% EMD, you know, all that. So I'm trying to think of anything else, man.
Dude, we went over a lot of good stuff, dude. I don't know if you mind. If we make like content out of this, dude, this is a lot of good information.
Yeah. This was great information, bro. This was great information, man. So if I understand you right, man, I mean, like, finding my own buyers list, you know, finding their criteria, you know, it kind of goes like around, you know, hold my hand wholesaling. So like, I basically wouldn't be, because I don't even know like their criteria, to be honest, too. They just say, like, you know, if it cash flows, you know, like, you know, and you get it under contract, you know, send it through Buy Box Cartel. So I feel like it puts me a bit more better focus on like what to look for properties. I'm trying to think of anything else that definitely helps with like a three-way.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Whole Man Wholesale is great. They have they're gonna be dispo for you, right? So you have their criteria, you use their buyers, which is huge, which I would recommend obviously doing the beginning. But like I said, if it's not working for you, it's not working for you. And also, when you scale your company, you're gonna have to have your own buyers. So yeah, I mean, the reason I say that is there's no way you can. It's gonna be extremely hard to scale when you're competing with the whole group with the same exact criteria.
Yeah.
You know, for you to get to those like 6-figure months, it's gonna be pretty much impossible. But when you have your own criteria, and on top of that, if you're running your own operation, you're making your whole profit. So that's huge as well.
I'm trying to think of anything else. So with my I wanted to hear your thoughts on this. So like with my seller financing offers, I do 2 offers. I do one, you know, above list price, 0% interest, and then with a balloon term, 7 years, and then, you know, pretty standard with that one. And then I also do a second offer with at list price, but I give them a 3% interest rate, and then it's a balloon of 10 years. And so I don't know if you have any like thoughts on interest only payments on seller financing offers. I feel like seller financing offers are just hard for sellers to really accept, because they're like, you know, I just want one big check at the end of this. I don't want I don't want 20K down and then like, you know, 500 you know, per month for 7 years, you know. So yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts on like, you know, creating sending 2 offers, you know, for.
I got you right now, 100%. One thing I will say too for seller finance is good is like going after a tired landlord, because let's just say they have a house that they're just paying taxes on, and they don't want to own it anymore. I would say the people that are, I mean, you're gonna come across distressed people which is good for seller finance, but at the end of the day, if they're distressed, a lot of times it's because they need the money. But if it's more of someone that, we moved and it's just sitting there, then they might be okay with taking payments. But this is what's going to beef up your seller finance offers. Obviously, sub 2, you have a lot more leverage because they're drowning in their mortgage, so they have a reason to take it. But seller finance, they could drop as much as they want. They're free and clear. This is how I would do it. So this is how I offer it. I would understand my maximum and then my entry. So my max is going to be, you probably heard some people give over list price. My max would be 30K over list price. My max monthly payment would be whatever results in $300 of cash flow from my buyer, right? So once you break down the math, and this, if it's all in the YouTube video as well, it's on my YouTube, it shows how to break down seller finance, whatnot. Whatever results in $300 of cash flow, let's say that is a payment of $750 a month to the seller. That's what my max would be. I want to secure that for my buyer,
Mm.
right? So secure $300 of cash flow for my buyer. Then down payment max 10%, interest max 5%, and then balloon I wouldn't go below 7 years. The only time I would go below 7 years is if it's like $100,000 property or less, because then the turnaround time is quicker because it's, we don't have to worry about ballooning out like 300 grand. So let's see. So that's our max, right?
Yeah.
Now our minimum, or not even our minimum, is what I would enter with. I give them list, right? Because I know some people give 30K over off rip, but I don't do that because, dude, you're killing your own leverage. You know how much the more money, the more problems you solve, the more money you make, right? So if they want to move on a different term and you're like, I don't want to really move on that term, but I'll give you another $10,000, I'll give you another $20,000. You have that leverage. Well, if you would have given that to them in the first place, you shot yourself in the foot. So I give them a list. If I'm trying to secure $300 cash flow, maybe I start by securing $600 of cash flow. That way I give myself room. If I know I can't give more than 10%, I would start by giving them 5 to 7% down. I don't mention interest unless they mention it.
Yeah.
And I don't mention a balloon unless they mention it. So now look at how much your leverage you have here. How much you can move on all of these. So now, we want more down. Okay, cool. I'll give you 8% down. I'll give you 9% down. Oh, we want interest. Okay, I'll give you some. We want a balloon. Okay, I could give you one, right? So, max is 7 years. I'm thinking about something else. So max would be 7 years, and I told you about 5. But dude, even if they say, oh, no balloon. Oh, we want a balloon. Okay, let's do 10 years. Oh, we don't. Okay, maybe we'll do 7. Okay, you see how much room you have? So that's what's going to be the motivation there. You're not going to have a lot to cling on to as for the actual house because it's free and clear, but being able to maneuver these terms is definitely your strong suit.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, because it gives you wiggle room.
And dude, you'll be able to, I'll probably have this edited and whatnot thrown on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch back and see all of it. So in case you missed any notes,
Yeah.
but dude, yeah, now I'm thinking about like what we went over, and it's like you got some good stuff going now. You got the caveat strategy, you got this stuff, you got the other buyer's agent, you got a lot of moves to make. What I will say, dude, just from like a mindset perspective, is this is business, right? You're gonna get to points where it's like, what do I do? Like, I feel like nothing's working. If you really sit down and think, okay, if my life depended on it tomorrow and I needed to do something, what is there any possible next step? What could I try? And then you start thinking about it. Okay, I could try this. I could get different buyers. I could get my own buyers. And then it really comes down to just doing it. And some shit's going to work, some shit's not. So giving you these outs, these different ways to go, you try them. If they don't work, there's always something you could do. Always. Right. So, but you definitely got a lot of stuff now. So that's good.
Yeah, no, that's great, bro. That's great. I feel like the biggest thing is how I'm approaching the agent and just separating myself, because it is, I think being in a saturated market is actually a good thing, because that tells you that there's money to be made, because you wouldn't want to be in an unsaturated market where like there's no money to be made, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's like phones, like it's a super saturated market because everybody needs a phone, it's like, of course, so but then there's also the people that also drop off just because of that, so it's just like, it's such a cliche saying, but it is a numbers game. It is like, it is just a numbers game with this stuff. So
dude, and the best spot you can be is, imagine if you're in like the heart of Texas, and you have criteria that nobody else has.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to tell you. We have a strategy that we can lock something up at list price, like listed for this. We give them exactly what they're asking cash and still make 20 grand on it. That's how good the buyers are, right? So it really comes down to just good buyer rapport, good criteria, and that's it. Because we're not in secret markets. We're in like Section 8 markets, St. Louis, Memphis, Ohio. Every one of their mothers doing Section 8 there. How are we continually doing deals every single week? Yeah. Criteria. That's it.
Yeah, it lasers in. It's not like a shotgun where it's just like any property will make an offer on. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else. So how should I, for someone that has a full-time job, what is the best split in my time, where you're talking about doing lead gen at night and then in the morning do the contact, how would you say, like, what would be the best make use of my time? I feel like that's a big thing, is it's like the best use of my time, where I know what I'm doing is like actual like money making activities. Because I feel like I can, people can just spin their wheels, go into the Discord meetings and just listen in and to It's like what would you say, for someone in that situation, what would you recommend?
Yeah. So, well, 100% buyer's agents, but we already talked about that. That is like an absolutely no-brainer. But the free time that you do have, I would say priority doing lead generation, and then whatever free time you have after that, I would put it into learning, right? So, as much as you're going to be using buyer's agents, I used to listen to hours of phone calls from like Pace Morby, Jerry Norton. Any term that I heard, pause it, look it up, write it down. So I would kind of, let's just say you have 5 hours, right? Maybe do an hour of lead generation, or however long it takes you to get 10 properties that you could send to your buyer or your buyer's agent. Another hour listening into the lives or whatever, or talking to people in the chat, just networking. Another hour doing buyer relations, right? Messaging people on Facebook. Another hour doing learning something new within real estate, or just if you have a question, looking it up. But I think that would be the best way to go. But definitely prioritize actually the business itself, and then as you go along in those 5 hours, you can do learning new stuff and whatnot. But yeah, dude, I mean, as much as the lives are good and whatnot, some people have analysis paralysis and they'll just sit there for hours and not do anything. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just do it. You are going to make mistakes. Like I make mistakes. You're going to fail multiple times. You just got to do it.
100%.
It's either a blessing or a lesson, bro. That's what I say.
Yeah, I love that, bro.
Yeah, dude. Before I hop out, is there anything else? You feel pretty good?
Yeah, feeling pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good. I'm right after this call, I'm gonna find some buyers in Texas and yeah, go from there, and then find their criteria and get a bit more focused on this. So let's go.
For sure, you sound motivated now, dude.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Like I'm already like my belief is already there. I believe, I wholeheartedly believe I can make great money in this. It's just like with that belief, you also need the skill set, and you can't have one or the other. And so it's really just sharpening that sword per se, and yeah.
Cool, dude. All right, well, I mean, if you need anything, you got me. You let me know, and just let me know how it goes. All right, dude. It was nice meeting you, though, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, Jake. I appreciate your time.
All right, see you, Trevor.
See ya.